Hello guys, welcome to All Coding Tutorials. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to develop an Android game, Tic Tac Toe, a very basic and simple game, and it'll be fun to develop. The gaming is basically a lot of math and a lot of logics and some UI. This is just a two-player game where if one player presses a button and then the chance of second player comes. When any of the player becomes a winner, the game stops and declares that the player 1 or 2 is a winner. A two-player game. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I will request you to please subscribe to this channel. So let's begin. Launch the Android Studio. Select the new project. Select the empty activity and click next. Now give a name to your new project. Tic Tac Toe activity. Package name will automatically come and leave the other place, language as Java and other thing as it is. Click finish. Now you can see the main activity.java and activity_main.xml has opened. So let us build the UI first. So we will go to activity_main.xml. So you can see our main UI has opened, which shows the hello world at the center. So let's go to the code. Better we'll see in the split screen, and we'll make it shorter so that you can see it properly. Yeah, so here first of all, instead of this constraint layout, we will change it to relative layout. So write relative layout and it comes automatically, and that's it. And then we can add some margin to the layout. So let us write it 10 dp, and this text view we will make it our title screen. So let's delete this constraint first, and instead of this hello world we will write Tic Tac Toe. We'll also give an ID because it's a relative layout. We have to give IDs so that we can relate with this particular widget. Layout ID /text title. We will centralize this center horizontal true. Text size, make it bigger. So let us write 36 sp. Text style bold. Text color, I have chosen a color which is a little bit red. Font family is, let us take cursive. So you can see a beautiful tic-tac-toe title is appearing on top. And what we can do is below the title we have to display the player scores, player 1 and player 2, because it's a two-player game, so we have to display the scores. So what we will do, we will create another relative layout. Width will be wrap content and height will be wrap content. Close like this. It's also center horizontal true, and this will be below ID text title. Margin top 20 dp, margin bottom 20 dp. So that's the relative layout where we are going to show the scores and add left side text view. Width will be 200 dp and height will be wrap content, and center horizontal true. Close it here and let's give an ID first. The ID will be text player 1. Text on this particular place will be player 1 score. Size will be bigger, so let's write 26 dp. Text style will be bold. Color we will choose this text color will be black. You can see the player 1 score is coming properly. Text alignment is center. That's our text view. Now copy this text view, create another text view, change the ID to player 2 and text to player 2 score, and it will be to the right of text player 1. We'll also choose the font family. So let's go to the attributes. Go to the font family, click on more fonts and write Akaya. Click this Akaya and Click OK. So you can see the font has come. So now this one. Similarly, the same font we will copy and paste here. Now create another text view to show the scores of the player. The ID will change to score player 1. The text will be 0 in the beginning and it will be placed below text player 1. Another text view we will create and we will name the ID of the text view as score player 2. It will be placed layout below text player 2, also to the right of score player 1. We also have to give an ID to the layout. ID layout. Let's delete this center horizontal from all the places. So it is properly aligned, you can see. We are going to close our relative layout here and we're going to start a linear layout to build our buttons, which is our main part of the game. So here the width will be wrap content and height will be wrap content. And the orientation, keep it first vertical. We will give ID to our linear layout so that we can build the buttons below this. ID, layout, linear. We will keep this center horizontal true. So that's the beginning of our linear layout in a vertical position. Then we are placing 3 buttons in each row vertically. And then inside the linear layout of vertical, we will create a linear layout of horizontal. Create another linear layout. Width will be again wrap content and height will be wrap content, and there is no ID required here. The orientation for this will be horizontal. Now within this linear layout, we will create buttons. Now this linear layout should be placed below our relative layout where we have shown the scores. So let's give an ID to our relative layout also. So write ID / relative _ layout and then use this ID to place our linear layout. So right below it should be relative layout. Now you can see this has come below our scores. Now inside the linear layout, let's start creating buttons. So the width I am giving here 75 dp and height also I am giving 75 dp, and ID of the button will be button 1. So here our first button has come in this text size. Let us keep it 26 dp. Margin horizontal, because we have to place it properly, so margin horizontal will be 5 dp. Margin bottom I am keeping it 1.25. You can choose as per your convenience. This is what the way I have selected. Close it here and copy this 3 times and change the IDs button 2, button 3. So you can see 3 buttons are placed. And next what we are going to do is this linear layout, entire 3 buttons, this entire 3 linear layout button, we will copy it 2 more times. So you can see nice grid kind of structure of the buttons have been made for our Tic Tac Toe game. Only what we have to do is we have to change the IDs. So let's do that. So for our second row, we will call it button 3, button 4, and because we have to extract this number from the ID. So what I will do, I will change the IDs from the first button ID. Let us say, now instead of button 1, I will call it button 0. That will be easier to extract the numbers and it will also match with. So button 3, 2, 3, button 4, button 5, and also here button 6, 7 and 8. So this is the button grid and the IDs are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. these, and the same are going to be our button numbers. So that when we extract the button click, we can extract the numbers from the IDs, and the 0 will correspond to the first button. Once we are done with our button views, so we will, below the linear layout, we are going to create the text view. Width will be wrap content and height will be wrap content. ID will call it text status. Closing it here, and it will be placed below our layout linear. Let's give some margin on the top. So the margin top will be 20 dp. Center horizontal, again true. Size will be 26 dp. Again here the font family, I'm choosing our selected font, and the text we will write status. Color also will keep it color black. So you can see the status has come. If player 1 has won or player 2 has won given the game, that will come in the status. Below that, we will get another button. Layout width is wrap content, and height is also wrap content, and the ID will be play again, button play again. This will be placed below text status, and also this will be center horizontal true, and the text on the button will be play again. Size, let's keep it, and font family, let's keep it same. Let's select some background tint for the button. FFBB00, anything you can choose. Slightly yellowish I'm choosing. We have to create another button which is to reset the game. This will be for the resetting. This text on this will change reset, and it will be placed below button play again, and also will change the color red. Let's call it reset game, so it becomes bigger. You can design the UI in your own way, but that's okay. I feel this looks good. So that's our button. Now put some nice background to our overall layout. So I have some pictures. So I have this bg.png. So just right click and copy, and go to our drawable, and we have to here paste, and let's select drawable and bg.png. That's okay, and that's come. So now here what we can do is background drawable bg. So you can see our nice UI has come. So first there is a title, then there are scores, which is initially 00, and there are buttons, which is nothing inside. When we press something, it will be either cross or circle. And then here there is a status, and then there are two buttons, which is for play again. We can start the game anytime, and also there is a reset the game. The resetting will reset all the scores, make it 00. So that's what our UI part. So now let's now since the UI has been done, we will go to our main activity.java and start building our game code. So now we are going to start our main activity.java, and for that what we'll do, we'll first initialize all the widgets we have created in our UI. So let's declare the private text view player 1 score and player 2 score, and also another text we have declared is player status. That's the text view. Then buttons are going to be an array type, so button is an array, and we'll define like this: buttons equal to new button, and the number is 9. So there are 9 buttons. The variable name is buttons, and it's a array type which having 9 entries, and also we will define private button reset and play again. Now the score count, now what we'll do, we'll also define some integers, private int player 1 score count and player 2 score count. So now here our main logic starts, and we will initialize player 1 score, find view by id r.id dot score player 1, and player 2 score is equal to find view by id r.id dot score player 2. Then player status is equal to find view by id r.id dot text status. Let's initialize our button, so reset is equal to find view by id r.id dot reset button reset. Play again is equal to find view by id r.id dot play button play again. So that's it. That's all our elements have been defined, and now we will also define our buttons 0, and that will be find view by id r.id dot button 0. Let's see the first button and just copy it 8 times. We'll just change it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Similarly id 1, 2, these are the IDs we have given in our XML. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So these are the buttons. Now we have to create a listener for these buttons. So what we will do, we'll use this method of for int I is equal to 0 semicolon I less than buttons dot length I plus plus buttons I dot set on click listener. This we have to implement the on click method. So let's alt enter and then press OK. So there is an on click view has been created. So inside this, actually when we click on the button, our main logic will start here. Before starting the logic, let us create Boolean variables which are going to be used. Boolean is basically will indicate who is playing. Is it player 1 is playing or player 2 is playing? So Boolean player 1 active is one of the Boolean we have to create. And then also we have to create the game state, means when if nothing has been clicked, the player state will be on particular the button, the state will be 2. If player 1 is playing, the state is 0. If player 2 is playing, the state is 1. And if nobody is playing, that means the default state is 2. So let's define that. Int, it will be an array type, so int game state, which are the curly brackets. Let's write 2 to 9 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's it. Now we have to also create a winning position. So that means it will be a row, column, a matrix kind of variable. So we will write is winning positions. So it will be within the curly bracket, one of the curly brackets. So it will be like 0, 1, 2. That's 1 winning option. Then 3, 4, 5. Another winning option. Then 6, 7, 8. Vertically also there are winning positions. So 0, 3, 6, 1, 4 and 7, and 2, 5 and 8. That's your vertical winning positions. Just break it here so that two diagonal things, so it is 0 4 8 and 2 4 6. So these are our winning positions we have created, which we are going to check player has any player has won or not. Now let's set the score count also. Player 1 score count is equal to 0 and player 2 score count is equal to also 0. So initially both the scores are 0 0. Also boolean player 1 active is equal to true. So initially from the game begins, player 1 is always active. Also we have to create another int which is basically indicate rounds, how many rounds have been played, which will set rounds is 0. Initially it is 0. That's all our initializations. And now under the on click, if the button is already clicked, nothing should happen. That's the first logic we are going to write. So, and if no button is clicked, then it will be game state will be 1, and here we will write if, let's create another, so button view dot get text to string equals empty. So if this is not empty, when something is already clicked, we will have to return. Else if we'll create a function check winner. If somebody has won the match, so check winner, then also return. So if somebody already has won the match, so even if it is empty, we don't have to do anything with the button, we have to just return. So these are the two cases. Now if nothing is empty, what we will do, we will create a string button ID. We have to get the button ID, which button has been clicked. View dot get resources dot get resource entry name, and view dot get ID. So what we do here is that in the button ID we are getting the string, whatever is ID is for the button, whichever is button is clicked, we are getting the ID of the button in the string button ID. Now from that ID we will declare a game state pointer is equal to button ID dot substring button ID dot length -1 button ID dot length. So what we did here is basically our ID is just like this button 0, this is our ID. So what we are doing, the total length, from the length of the button ID we are subtracting one less letter, and what is remaining is last letter, so that is 0. So that 0 will become our game state pointers. Now there is an error here, so press Alt Enter and press wrap using integer dot parse int. So you can see integer parse int, the game state pointer holds our now the state of the game. Now if player 1 active is true, button view set text X. So if player 1 is active and button is clicked, the text on the button should be cross. And also what we'll do, we will write the same thing, we'll copy and we'll change here set text color FFC34A under the quotes. Again it is showing errors. Here we will write color dot parse color. Inside that this whole thing will come, and for that particular button the game state and game state pointer is 0. In the game state array, we are storing the information that which player has pressed the button. Suppose the first player presses the button 3, so button ID will be selected as 3 and the game state pointer will be 3 and game state 3 will be equal to 0. So that means the game state 3, the fourth number of button has been pressed by the first player. Else, copy entire thing and paste it here, and instead of X it will be O, and game state will be 1 if the second player has pressed the button. And the color of this, we will choose it a different color, so it will be 70FC3A. Let's make rounds plus plus in each click, rounds plus plus. Now again we will write this if check winner. So if check winner is true, if somebody has won the game, and if player 1 is active that particular time, player 1 score count we will update by plus 1 point. If the game has been finished and somebody has won, the check winner is true. Then if somebody has won the game, there is no draw. And if at that particular time player 1 is active, we have to update the score of player 1. And also we will create a function update player score, which will just define, and player status set text player 1 has won. Else we have to just copy this thing and just paste it here. Instead of 1 we will just 2. So if somebody has won the match and it is not player 1, it is player 1 is not active at that time, player 2 is active, so that means player 2 has won. So player 2 is score count plus plus we will do, and update player score and player status player 2 has won. Else if the rounds is 9, still nobody has win, call it player, we will say player status dot set text no winner. Else if rounds are not 9, means all the buttons have not pressed, a chance should be given to the next player. So what we will do, we will say player 1 active equal to not player 1 active. So what's happening here is if somebody has clicked the button, we'll store the ID and we'll set the game state as that particular player. If it is player 1, it is 0. If it is player 2, it is 1. And once somebody has clicked already, we will give a chance to the second player. If some winner has already been checked, so game will stop and it will say that player 1 is 1 and player 2 is 1, and update player score will take place. And if no winner is there, rounds are 9, so that means player status set text no winner. Now in between, if somebody presses the reset button, set on click listener, new view on click listener, resetting will call play again function which we are going to create, and player 1 score count will be 0 and player 2 score count also will be 0, and we'll update call here also. And also if in between somebody pressed play again button, we want click listener, call play again function. Now what is remaining is to create these functions. So let's create update player score. So this is our private void update player score. Inside the update player score, we will write player 1 score dot set text player 1 score count. Now since this is a string, so we have to write integer dot to string and close here. Similarly, player 2 score text will be updated, whatever is the score count, player 2 score count. Now what is remaining is we will create a play again function. Now under the play again, we will make rounds equal to 0, player 1 active true, and for int I is equal to 0, I less than buttons dot length plus plus game state I equal to 2. So all will be set to empty. All the buttons will show empty text. Buttons dot I dot set text empty. Most important part is the check winner function, which is a boolean function. So create method. So we are creating a boolean check winner. So in boolean, what we are going to do, this is the most important part. So we have a winning position array, which is basically rows and columns. So there are basically 9 rows and columns. So we'll run each of the row. We will check whether game state of this particular button is equal to this, and this is equal to this, and nothing is empty. Similarly, for the second row, we will check 3. Game state of the game state pointer 3 is same as game state of 4 and game state of 5. That way we'll continue to check for all the 8 combinations, and if anywhere we check as passed, we will declare that there is a winner. This will be checked at every time button is clicked. So that's the most important part. So let's write that code. So inside the check winner, we will declare boolean winner result is equal to false for int first row winning positions colon winning positions. So this loop will go for all winning positions row wise. If winning positions 0 is equal to game state winning positions 1 and game state win positions 1 is equal to game state winning positions 2. The game states are equal in a row or in a column. Game states are equal in a particular combination of the winning position, and also game state winning position 0 is not 2. Winner results true. And once this is checked, what we'll do is we will return the winner results. One more thing we have to do is when the play again button is pressed, we have to reset the status also. So we'll write player status set text under the quotes. Then now it's time to check the our program that is running properly. So let's run the code, and you can see the nice UI has come. And when we press the first button presses, the X symbol is coming, and the second player is playing, O symbol is coming. So that's working, and now you can see the first player has won the game. Then we press the play again button, and then you can see everything on the every text on the button has become blank. Do the same for the second player. So see, you can see second player also has won, and you can see one more time, and you can see these when we are pressing the button after the winning, there is nothing happening, so it's returning empty. And when you play the reset game, you can see everything is becoming 0, player scores are becoming 0. So that's working. That's all about our game. I hope you must have learned something from this game, and you can build your game easily. So thank you for watching, and if you have some comments, please give me comments on the comment box, and please like, subscribe and share. Thank you very much.